Carl Jung wondered, why does it hurt so much when someone disrespects you? Why do you replay it in your mind? Why does it make you want to lash out or retreat entirely? In this video, Carl Jung reveals how to handle people who don't respect you. He also offers his advice and perspective on why disrespect isn't just about the words spoken or the actions taken against you. It's about what they awaken inside of you. Let's start your journey with Carl Jung's understanding that pain isn't just external. It isn't just about what someone else did or didn't do. It's about your own relationship with yourself. You don't just react to what they say, you react to what it means to you, what it echoes inside you, what old wounds it rips open. And this is where we meet the shadow. The part of yourself you don't always acknowledge, the part you've buried so deep that you don't even realize it's controlling you. Carl Jung wrote, "The shadow, the inferior part of the personality, sum of all personal and collective psychic elements, which because of their incompatibility with the chosen conscious attitude are denied expression in life and therefore unite into a relatively autonomous splinter personality with contrary tendencies in the unconscious. The shadow behaves compensatorily to consciousness, hence its effects can be positive as well as negative." Jung continues, "The shadow personifies everything that the subject refuses to acknowledge about himself, and yet is always thrusting itself upon him directly or indirectly, for instance, inferior traits of character and other incompatible tendencies. And so, the shadow is that hidden, repressed, for the most part, inferior and guilt-laden personality, whose ultimate ramifications reach back into the realm of our animal ancestors and so comprise the whole historical aspect of the unconscious. If it has been believed hitherto that the human shadow was the source of all evil, it can now be ascertained on closer investigation that the unconscious man, that is, his shadow, does not consist only of morally reprehensible tendencies, but also displays a number of good qualities, such as normal instincts, appropriate reactions, realistic insights, creative impulses, etc. The shadow holds your insecurities, your fears, the things about yourself you don't want to admit. And when someone disrespects you, it's like they've reached into your shadow and pulled something out into the light. If you see yourself as strong, competent, and capable, but someone treats you like a joke, like you're weak or incompetent, there's an immediate, almost unbearable tension. The external reality they're creating for you and the internal reality you believe about yourself don't match, and that creates suffering. A part of you knows you're strong, but another part of you whispers, what if they're right? If there was no part of you that feared that possibility, their words wouldn't hurt. If someone walked up to you and accused you of being a purple alien from another dimension, you wouldn't feel offended. You'd laugh, because you know it's not true. But when someone disrespects you, and it does hurt, it's because something inside you believes it, at least a little. So the real question is, which part of you is feeling disrespected? Is it the child inside you who was ignored and dismissed growing up? The one who desperately wanted to be seen and heard but never was? Is it the ambitious part of you, the one that wants to be recognized for its efforts, the one that has worked tirelessly only to be overlooked? Is it the warrior, the part of you that is strong and powerful but feels robbed of its dignity? When someone disrespects you, they aren't creating a new wound, they're pressing on an old one. And that means the real battle isn't with them, it's with yourself. And that's how we arrive at the true heart of the matter, the alchemical transformation of insult into wisdom, of pain into power. You see, the reason another's words wound you is because they strike at a fissure within the psyche, a crack where something unconscious lies buried. A person can only offend you if, somewhere deep inside, you already carry the seed of doubt about yourself. Imagine someone were to say to you, "You have 3 heads." Would this trouble you? Would you spend hours pondering it, feeling hurt, questioning yourself? Of course not. You would dismiss it outright because it has no psychic reality within you. It does not find purchase in your unconscious. But now imagine someone calls you weak, unworthy, or foolish. If these words cut deeply, it is because there is already a wound within you that resonates with them. The disrespect of others is often a key unlocking the door to an aspect of the self you have yet to integrate. And here's where the power lies. Because once you integrate that part of yourself, once you acknowledge it, understand it, and make peace with it, their words lose their power. Why? Because there is nothing left in you for them to strike. Let us take an example. A man who was bullied as a child for being timid grows into adulthood, but remains deeply sensitive to any suggestion that he is weak. He may build an entire persona of toughness to protect himself, but no matter how strong he appears, a single dismissive remark from another, Perhaps an insult to his courage, a slight to his presence, pierces straight through his armor. The wound was never healed, only hidden. And so, when others disrespect him, it is not merely an external battle, but an internal one. He is not fighting them. He is fighting the ghosts of his past, the parts of himself he has not accepted. Now imagine he undertakes the great work of individuation. He turns inward and confronts this wounded, frightened part of himself. Instead of running from it, he listens to it. He asks, "Why do I fear weakness? Why does it pain me so?" He may come to see that his avoidance of weakness has made him rigid, incapable of vulnerability. He may realize that true strength lies not in denying weakness, but in embracing and transcending it. He makes peace with the fact that there are moments in life where he is weak, just as there are moments when he is strong. And then, something remarkable happens. The next time someone calls him weak, the words pass through him like wind through an open window. There is no resistance, no pain, no reaction. He knows himself. He does not need to prove his strength because he has nothing left to defend. He has integrated the part of himself that once caused him shame, and so no one else can use it against him. This is the essence of psychic power, not domination over others, but mastery over one's own unconscious. The world loses its ability to wound you when you no longer carry within yourself the hooks upon which insults can catch. Those who disrespect you are often pointing, unknowingly, to the very aspects of your psyche that require attention. They are unwitting initiators of your own inner transformation. So I ask you, where does their disrespect strike? What does it reveal about you that you have yet to fully accept? Because there, in that darkness, is where your power is waiting. But how do you do that? Most people try to fight disrespect externally. They push back, they get louder, they demand respect, they argue, they prove, they posture. But the problem is, if you feel the need to prove your worth, it means you're still looking for validation outside of yourself. And the moment your self-worth depends on someone else's respect, you've already lost control. Jung had another way. He believed that if you truly wanted to stop being controlled by the way others treat you, you had to go deeper. You had to examine not just what others were doing, but how you were teaching them to treat you in the first place. This brings us to the persona, the mask you wear in the world. Carl Jung wrote, "The persona is a complicated system of relations between the individual consciousness and society. Fittingly enough, a kind of mask, designed on the one hand to make a definite impression upon others, and on the other to conceal the true nature of the individual. Everyone has one. It's the version of yourself you present to others. It's the identity you craft, the role you play, the way you navigate social life. Some people wear the persona of the people pleaser, always agreeable, always accommodating, always avoiding conflict. Some wear the persona of the tough guy, always in control, never vulnerable, never weak. Some wear the persona of the intellectual, using knowledge and logic to maintain distance and superiority. But here's the thing, people don't respond to your true self. They respond to your persona. And sometimes, without realizing it, your persona is teaching people to disrespect you. If you are always overly nice, always bending over backward to accommodate others, always avoiding confrontation, you might be unintentionally signaling that your needs don't matter as much as theirs. You might be teaching people that they can dismiss you without consequence. On the other hand, if you're always demanding respect, always insisting on recognition, always trying to prove yourself, you might actually be broadcasting insecurity. And nothing invites defiance more than someone who needs to be seen as strong. The unconscious always seeks balance. If you lean too much in one direction, too passive, too aggressive, too uncertain, the world pushes back to restore equilibrium. So instead of asking, "Why don't they respect me?" ask, "What am I showing them?" Respect is not something you can beg for. It's not something you can demand. It's something you embody. And Jung understood that respect is tied to power, but not the kind of power most people think of. Not the power of control, not the power of force, the power of presence. In Jungian psychology, we all embody archetypes, universal patterns of behavior. And if you find yourself consistently disrespected, it's worth asking, which archetype am I unconsciously playing? Are you playing the child, the one who is innocent, good-hearted but not taken seriously? Are you playing the servant, the one who is helpful and self-sacrificing but only respected when they're useful? Are you playing the warrior, the one who commands respect but is always in conflict, always battling? Or are you playing the sovereign, the one who does not demand respect but simply is respected? The sovereign doesn't need to prove themselves. They don't need to argue. They don't react emotionally to disrespect because their worth is not tied to the approval of others. they simply are. And because they move with that quiet, unshakable authority, respect follows naturally. So what would happen if you shifted archetypes? What would change if you stopped fighting for respect and simply carried yourself as someone who is already worthy of it? And then there's the most important piece, the people who disrespect you. Jung thought that they too are symbols. They too are mirrors. Often the people who challenge you, who push your buttons, who refuse to acknowledge your worth, are externalizing something that already exists inside you. Do they remind you of someone? A parent who never saw your value? A peer who always dismissed you? A critic from the past whose words still echo in your mind? Sometimes, when we react strongly to someone, it's because they are reflecting an old wound we haven't healed yet. And if that's the case, fighting them won't solve it. Winning the argument won't solve it, because the real battle isn't with them, it's with yourself. The paradox of true power: only when you no longer seek respect does it come to you freely. It is a strange law of the psyche, almost mystical in its operation. The moment you release the need to be seen, to be validated, to be affirmed by others, something within you shifts. You cease to be a beggar at the doors of human approval, and instead, you become the sovereign of your own being. Think of a tree. It does not plead with the sun to shine upon it, nor does it demand the earth to nourish its roots. It simply grows, reaching toward the light, sinking into the depths of the soil, and because of this, the sun does shine upon it. The earth does feed it. It does not need recognition to be what it is. This is what it means to be truly individuated, to be oneself, fully, without the compulsion to be acknowledged. When a person has made peace with themselves, they become untouchable, not in the sense that they are indifferent or unfeeling, but in the sense that they no longer depend on external forces to affirm their existence. They have looked into the depths of their own unconscious, faced their shadows, embraced their wounds. There is nothing left for the world to expose, because they have already laid themselves bare before their own inner gaze. And here is the great irony: those who chase respect never truly receive it. They may compel obedience, extract admiration, or demand recognition, but it is never freely given. People sense the desperation beneath it, the unspoken insecurity that drives the pursuit. The person who demands respect does not truly believe they are worthy of it, otherwise they would not need to demand it at all. But the one who has integrated their unconscious, who knows themselves so deeply that they no longer seek external validation, this person moves through the world with a quiet, unshakable presence. They do not ask for respect, yet they command it. They do not need to prove themselves, yet others recognize their strength. They do not seek recognition, yet people are drawn to them. This is the paradox of individuation. The less you need from the world, the more it offers you. The moment you stop craving respect, you become worthy of it. The moment you no longer need validation, you become truly seen. This is not a game or a strategy. It is simply the natural consequence of inner wholeness. So ask yourself, what would it feel like to no longer need respect? Not to reject it, not to despise it, but simply to move beyond it, to exist in a state of self-completeness. Because when you reach that point, you will find that the respect you once sought is now given to you freely, without effort, without force, because you have become at last your true self. So the real question is not how do I make them respect me, but how do I become the person who respects themselves so deeply that external validation is no longer necessary, because that is where true power lies. I invite you to explore further by watching these videos. Always remember, together we will remember our timeless wisdom.